I walk the streets with my swagger on, supernatural, facing a million opponents, and my role is to act alone. Lights, camera when the action's on. Where I roam is a battle zone, a vigilante in the catacombs. But I rock with a hot shot like a clock when it's cocked and popped and the lead is gone. People say that my head is gone, but it's them same people with need of my help when I'm heading home in life. They say that everybody got a purpose, so I roam the city streets like faulty cellular service. The hot shot, sharpshooter, superhero, destined to shine like light through the dark and evil. I fight for what's right in the hearts of people and try to open y'all eyes, cause it's hard to see truth. You ever feel like everybody's the same but you different? That's when you know you're here to make a difference. Hot shot, you got a choice to make: stand up or stand down, fight or flight, get up.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm Mike Watson, back at it again for the regularly scheduled episode of Chat and Draw, episode 286. We got a good one here for you tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in or getting around here, hanging out with us on the show in the chat while you're watching. We're going to be talking and we're going to be drawing and doing all that stuff that we normally do or whatnot. But I would also like to say that I'm a publisher. I make comic books with Freestyle Comics. You can go check out our website right above at fsknow.com. We also have a fancy new subscription service that's also available for you to check out. What up, Roy? How you doing? Let's see here. Chats. What up, Roy? All right, wanted to make sure I said that right. So we also have an awesome subscription service, but I'm gonna let you know a couple things that I think are pretty awesome that I think you should check out before we go into the show. I will be at Urban NerdCon at the end of the month, and I got a few new pieces of artwork to develop there, and we're gonna have the new issue of Hot Shot there as well, and we're gonna have the rest of our entire library, which is composed of 42 comic books that will be there for purchase and Nerdom and Geeked Out. We got prints and everything. It's going to be a great time. If you want to know more about the comic book convention in Atlanta, go ahead and check out that QR code or check it out in the chat. It'll take you right to the Kickstarter page. We have a lot of cool things on there. The one item that I really enjoy is the Young Nerd donation. Please, if you're going to pledge anything, that's what I would ask for you to do. That helps kids who don't have any money or are tied up on funds. That helps families get their kids into the event to come see all the creative greatness. So be sure to go check that out.
What?
This is a little project that I'm working on right now, Infinity Engine. It is 40 top Black creator own characters in one massive crossover. It's a big undertaking. It'll be out in June. Hit this QR code and this will take you to the Kickstarter page to check out more information about that as well. And if you still got your phone out, scan this. We have a subscription service right now. Our sweet spot, our hottest ticket is the $10 tier. This $10 tier gets you a metal bookmark, a sticker, and one chapter of our book every single month. And like I just told you, we got 42 chapters out right now. So you'll be reading the entire Freestyle Comics universe, all from the comfort of your home, being delivered to you each and every single month. And I just sent out the first month of subscribers today to our Patreon subscribers. And I wish to shout them out today. And Chat and Draw. If you want to be on the show with me, Amayu, and whatever guest or whatnot, or you want to be a guest, come on to the show. We're looking for even people who are just fans, and they want to get some really cool art made. Check that link, follow the directions, and you can be in there. And finally, we're sponsored by Clip Studio. Clip Studio is awesome, and I'll be using Clip Studio to do tonight's artwork. So you want to be sure to check that out as well. All right. I'm not going to update you on FSK because I've already done that. Maybe I'll do that at the end of the show. I don't know. But what I do want to say to you is X-Men 97 is the greatest cartoon that has ever been made. Today, the 5th episode has cemented that. I am an avid Unlimited Justice League, The Adventures of Batman, Avatar, Korra, The Legend of Korra. I am avid into those cartoons. Those are my Voltron. Those are my its. I love them. But I have walked this earth for 42 winters, and X-Men 97 took the crown today. Oh my God. No spoilers. You will not get spoilers from me. I will not do that to you. I will not take the gravity of this episode from you. But I will tell you this. You watch today's episode, you watch it uninterrupted. And if anybody talks, you tell them to shut up. All right? Tell them to shut up. Tony's in the chat. What's up, Tony? Tony says it was amazing. Yes, it was. Paige, yeah, I need to do chat and draw for my new comic, Daisy Chain. Hey, you need to do chat and draw? Here you go right here. Scan that with your phone, schedule your day. All the Wednesdays are there. I got one Wednesday in May and June, July, all open. So just scan that or click it in the chat. I got you covered, buddy. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. Roy, they're catching up to Justice League to me, but this show is dope. Hey, today's show solidified it, man. It solidified it. Yeah, you really need to pay attention. I can't wait for the next episode. Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in it. A lot. I was just so blown away by how amazing the episode was, and I just went back and watched it again. My brother Victor had to hit me to a couple of the Easter eggs in there. They are doing their deadly thing, man. Their deadly thing. All right, so. Oh, here's Amayu right on time because this will be when I pull her in there. Hey, Amayu, how you doing?
Hey, happy hump day.
Happy hump day, happy hump day. We made it to the middle of the week. Amayu, I need you to start watching X-Men 97.
Oh, yeah, Dios mío. Okay, where do I start though?
Just start with
the login.
Just start on the first episode of X-Men 97 season 1 on Disney Plus. That's all you need.
Season 1, start from the beginning.
No, you don't. I mean, well, there's no. You want the new content, the one that just because there's only 5 episodes. Because they do a recap. You don't need to watch all the old stuff. You just need to watch this new stuff.
Okay. Tio gonna send me the login. Tio, you were supposed to send me the login last time, sir.
Did you see the new X-Force cover? I did see the new X-Force cover. I've never been a fan of X-Force. I mean, I appreciate them. I only got into them when Wolverine was leading the team and his daughter was on it. That was my favorite version of X-Force. Tony said I need to rewatch ASAP. Yeah, today's show was really the best cartoon episode I can remember. Kyron X-Men was badonkers, and I want more. Exactly. Even better than the Japanese X. Yeah, that X-Men, that X-Men anime they did was dope, but this 97's taking the cake. There she goes looking for the login. Hey,
I got Bill.
The login. We all got them. All right, let's go ahead and bring out our guests so we get this rolling. I'm done dibber-jabbling about the X-Men. Let's get it in how we normally do in normal chat and draw fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. A new opponent has interrupted the tournament.
Shaun is in the building with us.
What's going on, man? How we doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man. How are you?
Doing good. Hanging out, having fun. Just got off work, and this is definitely what I've been looking forward to all day. So,
what's up? Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here, of course. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Have you been watching X-Men 97?
You know what? My subscription to Disney Plus lapsed, and so I have not been able to watch it yet.
I'm
But
not
I
the
have,
only one that needs to log in. See,
Mm. All right, I can understand that. There's a lot of streaming services out there, and we got to pick and choose which ones we are. Once,
I have to juggle them. Like there's one show, and I'll try to binge watch it, but between like making comics and trying to plan a Kickstarter and everything else, there's only so much time, and that window is so small. And all my daughter does is play Minecraft anyway, so like Disney Plus would be for me, but I got to get all my like other stuff out of the way first.
yeah, absolutely get you. Disney Plus is never getting deleted. I'm never juggling them. They're always going to stay there as long as they have the MCU films and they got all the Star Wars stuff. Disney Plus is going to stay in rotation on my house. It's I'm never going to lapse on them. And Netflix has been my go-to. I'll rotate them other ones, but not those two. They're to stay home. But
Yeah.
tell us why you're here, Shaun. Tell us who you are. Talk to the chat because we may have some new heads in here. Who are you? What do you do? What brings ya
All
to
right,
the
my name
building?
is Shaun Barbour. I am Instinct Comics, INSTINKED, and that's because I started out in making comics as an inker, eventually moved up to being, creator, writer, creative editor, just kind of doing a bunch of different things now. My original comic book, Belial, I've had 3 issues of that out. I've already got 1 issue of I Drive for Cerber that's been out, and now I'm doing issue number 2. So, I mean, other than that, frequent TikTok and just kind of hang out with people and try to encourage. I do run a group on Facebook that I created called the Indie Comic Conspiracy. That's there as a resource for people that want to learn and grow within the comic community and try to get questions answered, share works in progress, and just kind of connect and reconnect and just kind of find that network and support system that's there.
Awesome. All right.
Kyron already hit you with a question. He said, "When's issue 4 of Belial coming?"
So issue 4 of Belial, I know it's been a long time waiting, but it is actually the script for issue number 4 is being written now as we speak. So hopefully by the end of this campaign, it's going to be solidified and we'll be able to start rolling right into doing artwork and everything for issue number 4 of Belial.
There you go, Kyron. Awesome. You heard it here, Kyron.
You heard it here. All right. Amelia is my co-host, if you did not tell. And she is going to ask you a series of questions, and I'll pop in from time to time when I'm working on the drawing. But tell us about the character that I'm going to be drawing for you today.
All right. So the character that you're drawing is Azazel. It's the demon Azazel. And in the comic book that I've got, I Drive for Cerber here, it is a like a paranormal Uber service. And so it has to do a lot with the supernatural. And so Azazel is actually one of the supporting characters. And they are, oddly enough, they are a drag queen. And that goes back into the origin of, in mythology and theology, of the demon Azazel as being responsible for having created or helping guide man through making weapons and weaponry and things like that, and also guiding the females into the art of deception through painting their face, dyeing their hair. And so the modern take in this story is that they are a drag queen because they run like an arms dealership basically out of their basement.
Wow, that is a lot. Okay, so is that why on your thing down there it says I Drive for Cerber? What is Cerber? Is that the...
So yeah, so I Drive for Cerber. It's about Jim, this gentleman right here. Okay. He's down and out on his luck, and he applies for a new job. He lost his job as a construction worker, and he applies for a new job. He's scrolling through his phone, and he applies. Mm-hmm. On his first ride out as this Cerber driver, he finds out that he's transporting paranormal creatures and entities and things like that. And one of the passengers he picks up happens to be the ghost of his murdered sister. And so now not only does he have to navigate the streets and kind of stay alive through transporting all of his passengers, but he's also looking to avenge his sister's death by finding her killer, which in this issue you find, or second issue you find out, is actually more than what they seem to be. So it all comes together.
Oh wow. Okay. That sounds really interesting. Would you consider this like a horror comic or no?
So the original story as it was written is on Reddit.
Okay.
And it was a creepypasta. So it is like a story with horror elements to it.
Creepy
Yeah, what's that?
You say it's a creepy pasta?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Never
so
heard
it
that
actually
before.
predates myself. I got into reading these creepypastas, these short horror stories that are represented in a way as if they were real. Because my son, my oldest son, he's 18 now, but he was super into them. So I started trying to look for a connection with my son and came across the story, really liked it, really liked the way it was laid out. And I did some research and was able to get a hold of the person that was using the pen name Mofucius and made a connection. And they gave me the rights to be able to turn it into a comic book. And so it's turned out to be actually a lot of fun, and even bigger. Coincidentally, they actually live about an hour and a half away from me in Sacramento, where Kyron is, and Kyron is the penciler for the book. And so we've all actually met in person and hung out, and it's been kind of a serendipitous type of situation. It's been pretty awesome.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Interesting story there. So one thing that I like to ask everyone is like how they first got started into comics. So what is your comic origin story, Shaun?
All right, so growing up, I was into like reading comic books and stuff and art, obviously, as an escape from the turmoil that I kind of grew up in. My my family was flavorful, I guess you could say, very much in the way that I'm probably one of the only ones that has not been to prison.
Okay.
So being raised in that, I kind of used that as an escape. And then years down the road, after not having done anything with my artwork, my grandmother, when she was more or less on her deathbed, she actually made me promise her that I would do something with my artwork.
Oh.
And so I made her that promise, and it doubled up with having never been really a person of means. I wanted something to be able to leave behind physically that represented me, my interests, the things I was into, for my kids. So if I never ever made anything big or was super successful or anything like that, I want them to be able to carry something with them that they can share with their kids and so on. And so wanted to kind of create a positive legacy. And so that happened when I made a connection with one of my high school buddies that wanted to make a comic book, and I was his inker, and it progressed from that point on.
Oh wow, that's cool. So you have your own comic book company now, is that correct?
More, yeah. I guess you would say like a publishing like imprint. So when I was starting out with Belial, I went in with Chuck Pinot, as you probably know, as Bonfire Press, and he's actually, I pitched him the idea for Belial, and he really liked it, and I brought him on as a co-creator for that. So the first comic book that I made was under the Bonfire publication imprint. And through the development of that, I was able to also establish myself as Instinct Comics. And I really wanted to play on the fact that I create comic books, but I'm also an inker. And that's the part of the process that I actually enjoy the most. So a lot of people are like, why don't you do pencils? You know, you can do it. Like, why don't you? And I'm like, that's not the part that I enjoy the most. I want to be able to support others in what their endeavors are and their creative strengths. And this was my way of being able to work with the people that I kind of look up to in our indie comic community. And it was just a good, strong way to connect.
Cool. So how many different like comic books have you inked, produced? What's the correct terminology?
Okay, so comic book titles that I have made, three of them. And then comic books that I've been a part of as either an inker or an editor or, you know, pitching in on the writing, that kind of stuff. 25 to 30 books probably.
Okay.
So there, and then of course that doesn't even include like cover inking. So I mean, so you probably do 30 or so is a comfortable number.
Okay, nice, nice. Now you said you were on that Reddit, and that was like one of the ways that you connected with your son. Have you ever like used any of your family members as, we'll just call it inspiration for any of your characters?
Not yet, but my oldest son is going to be credited in a horror novel that I just got done writing the first draft of. He's my creative editor for that, actually. And so um, the original plan for that was to also make it into a comic book. So it will be a comic book as well. And he's going to be credited with that because he's been my road dog since the beginning, going to conventions with me, helping me sell the books, pack up, break down, all of that stuff. And he's been super, super into it. He's a super geek like we are, and just into it. So to be able to get him to a point where creatively he felt comfortable jumping in and saying, "Hey, I'd like to be a part of what's going on here." I was all more than happy, especially because I've been bouncing ideas off of his brain to see how he has input, because he's a different age, a different demographic. And I'm trying to create something that resonates. While Belial is more like a mature book, this I Drive for Cerber is more or less like a young teen and above type of book. So
Okay. And you say he's been going to the conventions and all that with you. So what year did you start with your own comic books?
I'm what, 5 years ago?
5 years ago. Okay.
So yeah, so 5 years ago.
You're like right in the pandemic.
Yeah, no, it was horrible because I started going to conventions and I had a whole plan set up, and then all of a sudden everything shut down. In fact, one of the conventions I was supposed to go to still hasn't gotten back. Now they've carried the fact that I paid for the table forward and everything, but some of the stuff up in like super Northern California where I'm at, some of it's still having a hard time getting restarted. But yeah, so right as the pandemic stuff started, it just kind of fell off. And so I've been trying to like hang on. And one of the things that has been consistent is being able to try to maintain relevancy within the indie comic community. So it's been pretty cool.
Good, good. And I'm assuming that having that Facebook group and that TikTok, that's kind of helped keep you in the mix of things.
Oh yeah, especially because there's always changes, whether it's like shipping costs or programs and updates or just ideas in general about how to present something, rewards for like Kickstarters, just everything that's kind of involved with it. And when the group first started, some of those people have really kind of found their groove and they've been putting stuff out and out and out, and watching them grow has just been inspiring because they may have more time or more opportunity than myself, but watching them grow and to know that they feel like they like to hang out in the group to be able to chip in and help others grow has been really kind of awesome to watch as well. So just being a constant part of that growth has allowed me to continue to, I guess, be faithful in the indie community and people that actually want to grow, instead of a lot of those groups that are out there that are empty, like Kickstarter drop link graveyards, where the effort kind of gets lost, I guess, in the shuffle. And we already spend so much time doing stuff that creating a resource for people to go that carries value for the time that they spend in the group has been really important.
Right, absolutely. So how did you and Mike get connected?
Oh, through Kyron for sure. And Danny J. Quick. Like, and it's just always through like, and the indie comic conspiracy, and watching, of course, now his lives and stuff like that. So it's just been, hit and miss when he shows up, and I pop back in and check in and watch a live, and of course freestyle comics and being a part of wanting to back campaigns that way. And
Yeah.
It's always nice to feed back.
Okay. Cool. All right. The most important question of all. DC or Marvel?
You know, I to be honest, my upbringing in comics, um, I would probably, I mean, myself, DC, just because they have a grittier take.
I
I
hear
am a
that.
huge fan of Lobo. I mean, I've got the first appearance of Lobo here, like,
Oh wow,
so it's the only slabbed comic that I have.
sweet.
But other than that, if outside of that, I was a big image and image kid.
Okay, I don't know anything about Image.
So like Spawn, stuff
Okay,
like that. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. All right, those are all my regular, degular, schmegular questions that I like to ask everyone. Because Mike always has all the backstories and all that. So I'm like, I gotta, we gotta get to know people for the people who are just now joining us. People who are just now being introduced to you. So Mike, did you have any questions, or was there any hot topics that you wanted to discuss other than X-Men?
Oh, I want to know, how do we come up with these characters, man?
It's trying to come up with the relevant characters that are popular enough but not mainstream is kind of what the obstacle is. So you want to have, like, for me, I wanted to have identifiable characters, so even at the basis of Jim, just having somebody that's relatable. He's down on his luck, he's looking for a new job, that's how you meet him. He's not desperate, but at the same time, you identify right away with the tragic backstories and stuff, and going in with, if I can make a connection, then I know that there's other people out there. And it's comic creation for me is kind of cathartic. It's a therapy. So identifying with these situations helps me get invested. So, and then of course there are some characters. Ray from issue number 1 is the modern take on the tall man cryptid, or your Slender Man. Um, so that one's fun. And then you've got Borg, who is an ogre, but he likes to think of himself as an orc. So he's got some identity issues there and anger management that he's got to go. And then we've got the Archangel Michael and the demon Azazel. And then we also have lesser known cryptid, a Kelpie, which is an Irish, I guess you would say, kind of like a sea, like half horse, half like sea creature. And in the book, in this one, it's actually like a half octopus, half horse shape-shifting creature.
Okay.
And so taking those lesser known ideas and bringing them to the forefront is just really fun, because I think it opens up the idea for people to explore. Oh, what is a Kelpie? What is Michael about? Why is Azazel a drag queen? Like, how is that inspired? And it gives different avenues for people to identify with, and just being supportive of all the different communities, and kind of having something where a bunch of different people can kind of come together. So like I said, in this one, or in I Drive for Cerber alone, you've got your people that are into like demons and angels. You've got your cryptids and creepypasta stuff. You've got your appreciation for the alternative lifestyles, all of that, but in a healthy and creative way that is going to be supportive to how people are, who they are, and represents everything that they are. Which was really important to me, especially coming off the back of doing the Belial books, which is about the original ruler of hell, but he's fighting to reclaim his identity that he gave up in the name of somebody or something else. So it's his reclaiming not only his physical throne, but his physicality of who he is.
Wow.
Okay.
It's just the overall theme of that self-appreciation,
Yeah. It's interesting. For some reason, when you were talking about, the representation and everything, I was just wondering, like, would I ever see someone like someone that is a drag queen cosplaying as one of your characters? I think that would be so freaking cool.
and honestly, I'm hoping so. In fact, there's one of the variant covers for issue number 2 that is kind of an homage or a tribute to a well-known drag queen by the name of Divine, and they were in the movie Pink Flamingos, and I thought it was just kind of a cool launching point to be able to pay tribute like that on a cover.
Wow.
Because in the horror community, I go to a horror convention every year in Sacramento, and I think for whatever reason, the horror community really resonates with the LGBTQ plus community, and you've got a lot of creators that were dealing with their identity in that community in creative ways, like Clive Barker, um, who is gay, that had to retell kind of aspects of his story. And if you understand that as part of who he is, you'll see that seeping in around the edges of the movies and stuff that he's made. And it's kind of cool to be able to bring that in to the forefront. And I just thought this was kind of a cool thing to be able to help represent in a physical form that is accessible.
Yeah.
Even though it's controversial, obviously, but
what is it these days?
Yeah, I'm like in the middle of drag queens and whatnot being challenged in their ability to just be included in the literary world and reading to kids and things like that. I just thought, why not feature them on the cover of something that is within the literature arena? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, do we need to talk about X-Men now?
Well, I've said my piece on X-Men. I don't want to ruin it for people. It just came out today, and I get so pissed off at TikTokers and YouTubers who release content at 8 o'clock in the morning for the shit that just came out that day. So I'm not going to be that person. We're not going to be that podcast. But I will say you need to watch it. It's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have to start with the current. I'm not going back to 1997.
No, you don't have to. They do a recap.
Okay.
You don't need to. Look, the time that one came out, it was good for that time. But if we look at it now, it's not good. All right. We've grown as creators. We've grown as storytellers. What we like and what we don't like, what we accept. The fandom has grown. So yeah, it was really marketed towards kids. They didn't do it all that well. It was good enough for the 97 year because that's where creatively, that's where we were. This shit right here, we are making this. People our age are the ones behind these shows now, or shows like this, and they know what we want. They know what we want to see, and I am here for it. So
wait, so is it more mature though? So it's not.
Oh yes,
not for kids. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So which character has had the biggest overhaul between like the old version and the new version?
Cyclops.
I saw the one big thing that people were talking about with regards to the focal point of his powers.
Yeah. They do his powers complete justice, but Cyclops, how he speaks, how he carries himself, that he is the leader of the X-Men. The whole show is treated as an ensemble cast. Everyone, it's like when you read the 90s book, everyone had their role. Not one character hogged all the time or anything like that. The animation is like outside of What If. This is how I want Marvel to do all their animation. Do not change it. This is it. This is their Justice League. This is their Batman. This is their Superman animation. Do not change it. It just needs to get better from what it is right now. And it's pretty fucking good as is. Fantastic. Gambit, Magneto, Storm. They just did. Everyone has bars.
See, Gambit was always my favorite one growing up.
Wasn't there supposed to be a Gambit movie, like an X-Men origin Gambit movie?
Yeah,
there was.
And what
I think
happened?
that got kiboshed. But if you go online, there's actually a really, really, really well done like fan film
Yep, it is.
with Gambit in it, and I highly recommend it. When I say like a fan film, I mean like an actual like 20 minutes worth of a YouTube like movie that you can
Yeah.
watch with
Is that where I can
like,
find it on YouTube?
yeah, oh yeah.
What up, yo?
They got
Um,
special effects in the whole shot. Like it's just super rad.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Kalala says my animation teacher is a lead animator on the show.
And that is true.
And Kyron confirmed they do touch on a lot more mature themes in 97 than the original series. And I don't know who Ahego is, but they said, hey.
What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Welcome to the chat.
Hello.
All right. So, has anyone seen Madam Web?
You know, I listened to a lot of the reviews people are, and so at one point when I was kind of like led to go watch it, I ducked out. I
Same.
ducked out.
Same. So you can spoil it for me because I don't care.
Oh, okay.
You mind, Shaun?
Good.
Nah, that'd be good.
So I'm an avid person. I'm avid about not talking about things or speaking on them unless I've seen them, and I have finally seen it. And I, damn it, the internet was right. There's nothing good in it at all. Dakota
Oh, no.
Fanning, she not only did she phone this in, she emailed this performance in. She put that shit on Internet Explorer from 1997. Emailed that shit in. It was so tragic. The dialogue was not good at all. Did not feel genuine. Did not feel conversationalist. Didn't feel like these characters would speak that way. It just didn't seem like natural conversation for them. Ezekiel's representation in the movie, just I don't get it. I don't know why they made him. I don't know why they went down this path with him. And the thing about them not being in costume, except for in a one little cameo, like backflash vision, that is absolutely true. These girls do not get their spider powers at all in this movie. Madam Web, Dakota Fanning's character, has powers. I don't know where she got these powers from, or how she's using her powers. It just is not good. The one woman who is on Euphoria, they put her in so much clothing to tone down her sexiness, and then they put her in a schoolgirl outfit, which is another style of a fetish. So
Yeah.
I don't understand what you diluted one thing and then raised the other thing up. The girls were mad at each other for no reason at all. They just were hating on each other and catty and were attitudey and they were stupid. They were dumb. They wouldn't listen, and it's like they were fighting over stuff that didn't matter, and someone's trying to kill them, and they still didn't. It's not good, but I digress. You have to see it for yourself to be able to talk about it.
Sounds like the Bad Girls Club of Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
Girls Club.
But
yeah, Percy said terrible movie.
Who said it?
Percy.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a film I like. And spoiler alert, she gets blinded in the movie like Madam Web is. I don't understand how the blindness happened, but it happened, and for some reason, that put her in a wheelchair.
Maybe they got shown a clip of their own movie before it was over,
and it was that bad.
It is, and the current, and so the talk on the street is that Sony builds up these movies to make it look like they're trying to make their Spider Universe and trick people into thinking that they're going to be in the MCU, and then they just do the bare minimum to get the movie made. Because you notice these movies come out every 3 years. Sony has to come out with a Spider-Man movie every 3 years in order to keep the Spider-Man license. And they just shit on this movie that they put out. Morbius wasn't good. Venom.
I actually liked Morbius. I actually do have the poster for Morbius up on my wall.
You like it?
I actually did enjoy it, but I am like a little kid when it comes to movies, man. I have a complete suspension of belief, and I go into each one like not expecting very much at all. But I thought it was fun for what it was and for what they were trying to kind of do.
I like Morbius too, but okay, Kyron, was Madam Web worse than Morbius? That's what Kyron asked.
Madam Web was worse than Morbius.
Okay.
And I digress. Don't you dare try to tell me that I am saying this because it is all women's cast, because that ain't got shit to do with it. That movie is bad. It wouldn't matter if it was all men. It would have been bad. It could have been her, it could have been him, it could have been they, it could have been them, it could have been whatever gender you wanted it to be. It would still be bad.
Well, because Birds of Prey wasn't all that bad. And that
the Harley Quinn one?
Yeah,
that was good.
That's what I'm.
Yeah. I don't know why that got shitted on. That was good.
Yeah.
Do not use this as an excuse to not make more movies with a majority of women in the cast, because that has nothing to do with it at all. That was just a shitty ass movie that they threw together and made us think it was going to be connected to the rest of their Spider films, and they severed all the connections. They even covered up the woman saying Peter Parker's name because Ben Parker's in it. His sister's pregnant, carrying supposedly Peter Parker. They changed the date to when this movie takes place, which takes place in 2003. So Peter Parker could not be the age of Tom Holland, so it could not be him. And then they were playing this guessing game about guess my baby's name. And they couldn't figure it out. And she was like, oh, the baby's name's Pete. And then something fell or something blew up, so she couldn't say the name. And there was things happening, didn't understand. Like they wanted Madam, I'm just calling Dakota Webb. They wanted her to go to this party, which was a baby shower. And then and she was like, I don't want to go because you're just gonna wrangle me into things that I don't want to do. And she ended up going because Ben was her partner, and he talked her into going. And like all the men stayed outside for the barbecue, and then the wife came out like, hey, you better come with us. And she looked at Ben, and he was like, aha, you got wrangled into it. Why? I told you I didn't want that to happen. And so she goes into the room with all the women for the baby shower now. So only women can go to a baby shower, and then they completely separated the women from the men because the men grill, men saute meats, and women no baby stuff. And she didn't want to be there, and they kept pressuring her to do stuff and like asking her questions, and like it was just forced everywhere. It just made me so Roy.
WandaVision was good, Roy.
WandaVision is incredible. Bad. It took me a minute to get into it, especially like after the first couple of episodes, but to me it was worth it.
Roy, calm yourself down. I am seeing you in a couple weeks in Atlanta. WandaVision is amazing. It's one of Marvel's top TV show. It was supposed to be in like 2003.
Interesting.
Well,
the creativity of WandaVision, like where they started it and then where it went along the way on how they got to the ending of it, I thought was fresh. Like it was rad.
I loved it. I love the storytelling. I love the acting in it. I love the presentation, the setup, and I love how in each era that they showcased in there, they shot it the same way it was shot at that time.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
WandaVision was a masterpiece, low key.
Yeah, it was. They did the damn thing.
Only stick with it, because if you just watch the first episode, you're gonna be looking like, what the heck is going on? Because that's what I was thinking.
Captain America and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Miss Marvel, Loki,
yeah.
Those are my joints. What If? Those are my jams out of the TV shows. Those are my absolute favorite ones. And now X-Men 97. Oh God, incredible. So I could talk about MCU films all night. So I can switch the topic. We can switch the topic because I'll go on about that. But
Did you want to do a quick promo for the studio trial thing?
Oh, actually, I'll do a quick promo for both of them. Urban NerdCon is in the building, everybody. Go to our Kickstarter page and go check that out. We will be in Atlanta at the end of this month, and we got a lot of good things. Check out this Kickstarter, and if you're going to pledge to it, I would personally ask you to pledge for the Young Nerd donation. I love this. This is one of my favorite things that Urban NerdCon does. The donation helps get young kids who may not have money to get into the convention, but not only get into the convention, gives them a little bit of spending money to buy things at the convention. So let's help a kid out. Let's help a kid or two out. Go to that Kickstarter, pledge to that. Let's help some kids get to this event because it's going to be a great one.
Also, most importantly, it's my birthday weekend, and I will be there, of course.
Absolutely.
Amazing guests that are going to be there. Cree Summer's going to be there.
Yes.
Is going to be there. Clifton Powell. A whole bunch of people, just go on the website
and check it out.
Are heavy hitters that are going to be there. So yes, definitely. If you are in Atlanta or even nearby, you might want to just
do it.
Okay.
Just do it. And also, we're sponsored by Clip Studio, which I am drawing right now in Clip Studio. For the time being right now, if you scan this QR code to go check it out, you can get access to Clip Studio for 90 days on the Ages of Geekdom, the streaming network you are watching right now, where we have about 5 to 6 different podcasts streaming damn near every day of the week. So come check us out. And while you're checking us out, subscribe and get this Clip Studio program for 90 days on us.
I highly recommend Clip Studio. That's what I do for all of my stuff. In fact, I just went in on a retro pack with like the rusty nibs and all that stuff, and then like the crosshatch and all that stuff. It's been pretty rad.
What's up?
Awesome. She-Hulk. I did love She-Hulk too. I love what they did with She-Hulk. I had a lot of fun with that show.
That was fun.
I like that they went against the so-called form. All right, this will be the last thing I say about Marvel. Phase 4. I want everyone to understand Phase 4 is everything you asked for. You asked Marvel to give the directors more creative freedom. They did. Feige said you can do whatever you want, just get me to this one point. They did that for all the films. They hired amazing directors and gave them total free will. You wanted to get away from the Marvel formula. They absolutely did that. They did that. And for those of you they made shows for a ton of different people. And I think this is the biggest thing that goes over your head. You didn't have to watch all that shit because it wasn't for you. If you didn't like it, it wasn't for you. They made shows for different groups of people. It's called math, kids. If you got a group of people here that like Miss Marvel, but they don't like WandaVision, but this group of people like WandaVision, this group of people like Falcon, this group of people like whatever the hell else came out in Phase 4, then all those people like those shows, and you say Avengers 5 and 6 has all those people from Phase 4 in it. Now you've got so many people to go see the Avengers movies. It's fucking 1 + 1 = 2. How is that going over your heads? All right, I'm done.
And it keeps people from getting bored, and just brings all those different generations, old and new, together, which is what we were doing in the first place.
Right. Especially back in not back, but Doctor Strange. Was it Doctor Strange? The multiverse one?
Yeah.
They brought back they had all different types of people from the different X-Men and all. Yeah, that one was like, ooh, that gave me the tingles. I loved it.
Exactly. There's so many good things. But I digress. What else did we see? I watched a bunch of movies. Argyle. That movie was very entertaining. Had some really good twists in it. That's the one where the cat is in it and the lady writes the books about the spy. It comes true. She's really writing about this, not realizing it. That was super fun. And we watched some other thing. From the Deep or something, under the movie where the plane crashes in the water and the sharks somehow just are interested in a plane that's just floating in the water, not moving, but they like the plane. So that was not a good film.
Not good.
No, and I know you're like, well, Mike, it's a shark movie. No, there are good shark movies.
Well,
Me and my family love shark movies.
Deep Blue Sea.
Jaws is a classic. Deep Blue Sea. And the one where she gets stuck out on the reef. I can't remember the name of it, but that one's really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
Especially the way she kills the shark at the end of it. Great stuff.
Is it like 50 feet down or something like that? Not 50, but however many.
No, but that's a bad one. I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so my mom has like this I'll call it super cable network. So we just went out to her house and watched a bunch of movies. Kung Fu Panda was disappointing. I was very sad at that.
No.
I feel like they phoned that one in, and
Mhm.
it could have been so much better. But see, for a fourth film, it could have unlocked a new trilogy. The premise is that Poe now has to choose a new Dragon Warrior. And it's like you're looking at Poe and you're like, why? This dude is still 25. Doc, he just became the Dragon Warrior like 2 years ago. He's not old. He's not like in his 50s or 60s or anything. He's still fresh. He's still young. He can still be the Dragon Warrior, but they're pushing this theme that he has to pick a new Dragon Warrior.
Mhm.
This story could have been a good story if they would have skipped 30 years and just came back to an older Poe who's still a goofball, but like a dope goofball, like super, super good at martial arts and just like amazing, but still says goofy, dumb shit from time to time. But he's so, smart from all his experience. And then you say, now you need to choose a Dragon Warrior because you have to move on to the next stage because you've got all this experience, you've done all these feats. Now you have to train someone else and put Poe in the same exact situation that he was in as an older version. It just doesn't sell for me with this younger version of Poe.
That makes sense. I guess they should have hired you, huh?
They should have.
Roy said the thing that I think pissed most people off is phases 1 and 2 were their origins, but the Marvel thing was new. They had to do origins for the next major build-up because of the new characters, and people wanted the payoff quick, but you have to build it up. I agree too.
Absolutely. Absolutely right.
But these
you got to do the build-up
right now. They want a 10-second TikTok.
They do. That's a very, very good point, Roy. And that also goes over people's head. We have to build these characters up. I mean, because do you guys remember this? When we watched Infinity War and we watched Endgame and it was all action. Yes. There was no backstory. There was no explaining this or explaining this. We got to jump into it because we had all that other content beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting with Iron Man, that first Iron Man that set it off for us. And we're like, ooh, what is this? Wait.
Well, that's why everybody was hanging out after the credits were rolling for those extra little clips to see, okay, what's next? What you were invested.
You were invested. You were right. And I know everyone keeps saying there's no good villains in the Marvel movies outside of Killmonger, Thanos, or whatnot. And I'm like, it's not going to be. Why do you think the big villains are saved for you can't have every villain cannot be epic and be on the same level as a Thanos because then you don't appreciate what you're getting. And it doesn't justify a whole team of 40 superheroes getting together to fight and take this person down. We're going to get that type of villain again. They're just not going to come in every pack of Starburst that you get. You got to have the average villain, the subpar villain, the good villain, and then the amazing villain. You're going to get these different levels of that because our heroes have to be built up, and they have to be built up and challenged to get something that pushes them to their limits. And that's what a Thanos type villain is for. It just calm down.
Well, that's why you're the most enthusiastic person in comics. Okay.
Did you by any chance catch the new trailer for the new Joker movie?
Hey, I did not see the trailer, and thank you for reminding me because I need to watch it. Because I will tell you this. All that behind the scenes shit that they've been showing with Lady Gaga and the clips and the pictures and that movie is a wash for me. I do not care. Don't care at all. But they put up a 10-second clip of Joaquin Phoenix crying or laughing maniacally in the rain by himself, and I am all in. I want my ticket. I want to see this movie. That was an incredible. That's what you should be showing. That
Yeah.
was that 10 seconds was incredible. I just
See it.
it was moving. He was just in the rain laughing to himself outside in the yard. I was like, all right, I want to see it now.
I think
I'm
they're
in.
really trying to build up the Gaga version of Harley because like they weren't in the first one, and now they need a new connection at this somewhat askew angle of telling Joker's story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to connect that with people that are already out there, not really given Gaga credits for any of the acting ability or anything else like that. So getting them kind of motivated that way. And then when it started coming out that there was musical elements to the story. Now the way when you watch the new trailer, it'll bring the real appreciation for the angle that they're actually bringing. So it kind of sold me too, because at first when I heard that they were going to go with a as a musical, I was like I don't know how you get there from part one with the regular Joker movie to the new one. But when you watch the trailer, I'm not gonna, like I said, I won't spoil it for you. You get to see how they're looking at the world, and it's kind of cool to see how that plays off each other.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen it. Someone dropped the link, but I just hadn't clicked on it yet because I wasn't ready and I wanted to be able to focus on it when I saw it.
exactly, Roy. Percy said DC sucks. No, they don't, man. I enjoy a lot of DC stuff. Just their films for me are not on par. Some of their films aren't on par with the MCU stuff, and people hate me for this, and that's perfectly fine. I absolutely love Man of Steel. It is fucking amazing. It's my favorite Superman movie. If you would have
Mine too.
if you would have left Zack Snyder alone and left him at his plan and let that man make his Batman movie like he wanted to, and then he would have made another Superman movie, we'd have got another Wonder Woman movie, we'd have got a Flash movie, and then we would have got the Justice League movie. All that stuff was planned, but you all complained about it. The people that complained had these loud voices, and it made DC change the plan, and then they changed the plan again, and you messed it up. If you just and DC looked completely different from Marvel. It was completely different, and we had these two worlds that we can live in. What the there's so much geekdom out here right now that you don't have to be stuck to one thing. If you don't like what DC's doing, go to Marvel. If you don't like what Marvel's doing, go to DC. If you don't like either one of them, hit up K-dramas. Go on to Netflix. Go on to Hulu. Go on to. There's so much stuff everywhere. So much stuff in fandom you can watch that you don't have to be so caught up in your feelings about something being bad. I just move on to the next thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't like that. I can have conversations about it, but I'm not about to go on a hate campaign for it.
Hate.
And they each have like their individual strengths too. Like DC's animated stuff up until I'm
It's
guessing,
killer.
yeah. And then you've got Marvel with their regular cinematic universe crushed DC's like as a whole. If you're looking at the bigger picture, just banger after banger after banger, and you can't dismiss that.
Absolutely right. Madam Web is probably the worst comic movie I've ever seen. So, bring out something else that you think is bad. Madam Web is probably worse than that. I will tell you the truth. The manhwas and the mangas popping nowadays. Yeah, manga is absolutely popping. There's so much anime you can watch, so many mangas you can read. These K-dramas, look, don't let it fool you. These K-dramas is real. My daughter's got me addicted to them. I'm on them. Storytelling, magnificent. Characters, magnificent. Action, on point. Comedy, emotion. They will beat your heart like a drum. Got me out here crying over grandmothers and shit. Boy, you better watch something.
Mike, I don't want us to keep our guests our guests hostage tonight. So.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm getting distracted. I need to finish this here and we'll be done.
Hey man, if you're having fun, I'm here for it. I don't know if you need a towel. It might look like you're starting breaking a sweat when you're getting so passionate about stuff, though.
It's just like if people keep acting this way, they're gonna ruin it. They're gonna make them stop. We have so much content. The Boys, Invincible, all this. Like, there's tons of stuff on Netflix. I don't think people realize Netflix is dropping content every single week.
It
They
feels
don't.
like it.
They don't miss a week. Some of that content may not be good. Some of that content is good, but they are dropping new content every single week, and it ain't one or two things. They're dropping multiple projects.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why Netflix is one of the ones that stays in my rotation for sure.
Oh,
Because you just don't know. Some of it hits you like a surprise. Like you find out 3 days before they release it, and you're like, wait a second, where did this come from? And then they're like, here, you can have the entire thing.
Yeah.
To binge.
Yeah.
You're like, why not? I've got 8 hours.
Right? Yeah, that one. And then but I've been here for a lot of TV shows, binge watching, like you said, like The Boys, all the darker stuff, the the Doom Patrol. I watched all of those too. And just different stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to start watching Fallout tonight, apparently.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, we're gonna watch that tonight too. Then
I'm hoping it won't keep me up too much because I do have clients in the morning, but I'm at least trying to get one episode in tonight.
Excellent. Blue Eye Samurai is another good one. That was incredible.
Okay. And I'll tell you, I know if my Kickstarter funds, I'm probably going to dive back in on Disney.
Yeah.
Drop the Kickstarter again, Mike.
Yeah. Go. Where's the link? You got the link? Shaun, we did all this talking and we didn't even talk about your Kickstarter, man. Here,
I know, right?
Close us out with your Kickstarter. Let's get the link in there. Hey, go back this man's Kickstarter. We failed him today. Don't you fail him. The show has.
All right, look. So I Drive for Cerber. This is issue number 1, but it's about Jim, and he finds himself face to face with the things that lurk in the shadows when he applies for a new job with Cerber, an on-demand transportation service that's like Uber for the paranormal. And so he finds himself at odds with his passengers, but one of them turns out to be the ghost of his murdered sister. And now he's trying to survive the night and avenge her death. And you'll find out this is part 1. Issue number 2 is what's on Kickstarter right now for the conclusion of the first story arc. So you don't even have to have a big investment to get a full, complete story. You won't have to wait a long time. If you get in right now, it's the whole thing. Issue number 1 was like 32 pages. Issue number 2 is 36. It's 36 pages because I wanted to make sure that we were actually telling the complete story to where it doesn't feel rushed. People are going to get what they pay for. And there's really kind of cool stuff that's coming along the way. There's even a crossover that's kind of planned between my comic book Belial and Cerber, because now that we've introduced the idea that there's demons and angels and stuff, that opens up a gateway or a portal, if you will, into having that kind of a crossover, which is really a lot of fun. But we've got everything from, like stickers and like cards, and I've got a t-shirt, and we've got all kinds of variants and stuff. It's super fun.
Nice.
Awesome. So I got one accessory
right now.
I am almost done. I'm gonna keep you for a little bit. Emil, I know you do your stuff live when you watch yourself, so if you gotta bang out, I got you. I'm so close to finishing this right now.
All right.
I gotta say, dude, I'm really digging this one. When I didn't know what you were gonna think when I told you that you get to play around with Azazel. You can have him look like any way you really want to, but I was really crossing my fingers that I would get like a Peg Bundy version of Azazel. Because I mean, with the drag queen, you can dress them up how you want. You can give them different hair if you want. Like, if in the issue, if you look up on the wall, it's kind of like an Easter egg at Azazel's wigs. You'll notice we've got like a Marge Simpson wig in there. There's like a Lisa Simpson, and that's a callback that Kyron did too, because within the first pages when we're picking up Ray from his house, I don't know if you can tell because it's dark, but the house is supposed to look like the Simpsons house.
Oh, nice.
So, we got to give shout out to the love of the old school stuff that we grew up with. And, there's love ever present in there, and bring all that stuff forward. And it's there for people that that want to recognize it. Why not
Right.
have fun in your own playground? You don't got to be serious all the time, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna head out. You guys have a good time finishing up. It was lovely meeting you, Shaun.
And
Y'all
you as well.
support that Kickstarter. Even if you are unable to donate at the time, go ahead and share it because somebody else might be able to donate. Okay. Y'all have a good
Yeah.
one, and I'll see you next time.
See you
Bye.
guys next time. See you, man. Yeah, I'm having a little bit too much fun with this one.
Like I said, I wanted it to be fun. You know what I mean? I didn't know how you were going to be with it. And I know that I've seen you do quite a few superheroes and stuff. And I was like, what am I going to do to give you something that's a little bit, different that you can have fun with?
Oh, dude, this is a great pick because I love Married with Children too. So, classic.
And that's kind of a cool thing because we've been kind of shouting out like old school stuff when we grow up and there's little different fandoms. I would say that Married with Children was definitely had its own fandom.
Yeah, it did.
And that it was cool. And actually, my girlfriend wanted to see this as well. So I bet she's gonna be excited, man.
Yeah. Well, there we go, man. We got it finished here. A little bit overtime, but that's okay.
Good.
Wait, hold up. No, the house is actually the house I grew up in issue 1. That's my cosplay costume for the con. Tess, something that we talked about. Tessa said would make a cool game. Okay, cool. Yeah, so everybody, please go ahead and back the campaign. There's cool things like this in here. Oh wait, let's see here. Necklace.
Dude, it's cool to watch you work. You're so fast.
I appreciate that, man, but Fish Lee smokes me. He's so fast, much faster
Dude.
than I am.
Fish is unnatural. There's like you've got your casual, you got your pro, and then you have this other entity who just breathes artwork, and for whatever reason, it's insane.
It is. Hold up, we got
it's a huge representation of sometimes it's the skill level you're paying for with art, and in the middle of people trying to turn to like AI stuff and whatever else, you have people that are legit that are doing the work and they are worth every single penny that you spend on them, man. You get more to it.
Yeah, you do, man. You do. I was an interesting little AI discussion I saw last night. I put a few words on there, and the article was very interesting because it talked about the AI artists in a way that I had not seen people talking about it. There's this card game where they do like those fantasy cards or whatever. They're like, I don't know, they're like Pokemon creatures or whatnot. So they pay this artist $15,000 a month to come up with hundreds of different cards. He puts them all in AI to make these cards. Then he takes them into his computer and he does art on top of them. He fixes the edits. He makes sure there's not 6 hands. The hands are all twisted, and then he adds more to it with his art skill. So he is an artist. He's using that's cool. You can disagree with me. That's what opinions are for. And he's still doing his art on top of it. He's just using the AI to get the bulk of the work, like to produce like 500 cards. Then he goes back in digitally and remasters the cards and shapes them up. Now that's different than just
that's using it as a tool, not a replacement. It's not a supplement. It's like we use photo references all the time.
Yeah. So like I'm not bothered by that, because he's still using his skill, and I've tried to use that AI stuff. I can't figure it out. I can't get it to do any of that stuff that they do. And if he's still putting art on top of it, he's still going in digitally remastering and editing and drawing stuff on top of it. Then who am I to knock him? And he's found the way. He's found a company paying him money. He gets to live his life all he wants to. He's doing art. He's found a system that works for him. Hey, it is what it is.
Michael's hot takes.
I take shortcuts in Clip Studio. I use I use those brushes and those brushes, all the different brushes they have for cups or hands, or well, no, I do draw my own hands. building background, skylines, and leaves and trees and stuff like that. So now and like I said, him still going in there, that's the difference, that he's still doing art over there.
He's basically creating his own references. So I mean, like if we were to draw like Deadpool or something, or have something like that, you want to use them for a reference to go off of, and then decide where you want to go to make it original. I don't necessarily see that as being too far off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, it's no, like I said, it's not a supplement, it's not a substitution, it's not anything that you should probably be making any kind of final product and kind of benefiting as that one step. But
yeah, I mean, you keep going. We're going to disagree on this. I mean, and there are levels of art where I think, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. But I don't think that this one particular case is that situation. There are tons of brushes out there that Clip Studio has and Procreate where they're literally making trees, and all you have to do is upsize and scale them to be different levels and variations of trees. And yeah, I can go in there and tweak all that stuff once I lay it down there. So there's levels to it. I think there's levels of acceptance. AI is here. It's not going anywhere. So better figure these things out. So, but that's all I got, man. I'm gonna get ready to go out here and go on this walk because I need one. I'll go ahead and email this to you. And please go back this Kickstarter because it is awesome. Let's put it in there one more time.
And to be clear, none of the art in my book is AI generated in the slightest. So hopefully nobody gets that twisted. Like all of this is Kyron's pencils, my inks, Kenny Aitken's colors. We got Robin Jones, who did some lettering for like Imogen stuff with the lettering. Like this is a legit team of people.
Yeah, legit. So go check out that non-AI generated comic book over there. Go pledge that Kickstarter. There's several ways you could do this. If you can't pledge, give them a share. Sharing is just as important. If money's tight, toss them $1. That helps. Every dollar counts. But if you do have the funds, find a pledge, find a reward level on there that you like, and go ahead, dig in, and make it happen for yourselves. I want to thank Shaun for being on the show with us. Had a great time with him. Great conversation. Shaun, we'll tell everybody where they can find you at. Give them your socials and one last pitch for your Kickstarter.
All right, so my name is Shaun Barbour, also known as Instinct. You can find me as Instinct on TikTok. You can do Instinct Comics on Instagram, and you can just find me, myself, and I as Shaun Barbour, ShaunBarbour on Facebook. And if you get a chance, if that's too hard, you can go to the Indie Comic Conspiracy, the page on Facebook for upcoming and veteran comic book creators here in the indie community. And yeah, I drive for Cerber. It's like Uber for the paranormal.
Awesome, man. And also, my apologies for spelling your name wrong on the promo piece. I fixed it on our other stuff though, but I apologize.
Yeah, no worries, dude. It happens. When I'm like the third choice on how to spell Shaun, it's not difficult. So when people ask me, how do you spell your name? I'm like, I have to tell them Shaun, like of the dead, or like the sheep, not anything else.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show, man. Everybody, please go out and support this guy. Another great episode in the bag today. And as always, everybody, stay epic.
I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask